Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Deficit, and right now we're going to finish off this Search and Destroy on Express, watching the second half of the video. And for some odd reason, the volume levels look so inconsistent right now, so I apologize if that is in fact true and carries on throughout my editing stages, but blah, 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 blah. I swear, every time I go to do a commentary, I go on YouTube and watch a few videos just to kind of get in that kind of commentary YouTube creating mood, and I swear I'll sit there for 2 hours watching everyone's videos, everyone's daily videos, and totally forget to actually do my own commentary, so that by the time I actually go to do my commentary, it almost feels like, not that I don't want to do it, but I'm almost out of the, hey, let's do a commentary kind of mood. But nonetheless, I think I'm still in that mood, so here we go. Today I want to talk about the claw, and for those of you who don't know, it is a type of way of holding the controller while you play the Xbox. Instead of using your index finger for the right trigger, or I should say your right hand index finger for the right trigger, you bring down the right index finger to press on the A, X, Y, and B buttons while you use your middle finger for the trigger. And what this does is allow you, for those who don't have, things like SCUF controllers with the paddles, it allows the user to be able to jump and aim at the same time without removing your thumb off the thumbstick or analog stick in order to press the A button in order to jump. And what this is going to do is give you those milliseconds of time in order to aim at your opponent and outgun them, hopefully, and win more battles, and just overall have more fingers on the controller, which would in turn mean more flexibility in different situations, as long as you can get your hand to become familiar with that kind of layout. I tried this a few days ago because I know a lot of professionals do it, and so I figured if a lot of professionals are doing it, it's got to be relevant in how well people are playing at the top level, because those milliseconds do affect the way games come out at that level. And so I tried it out, and I started with bots, and at first it was pretty goofy. I was actually going to show you guys the games that I did end up playing with that, but for some reason they have disappeared into the digital realm of the Call of Duty Theater. I wasn't recording live at the time, as I don't usually do, because I don't usually have access to my computer and the Xbox at the same time, as my brother is usually using the computer. So I record a lot of times in the theater mode. But not to get off too much of a tangent, I couldn't find the games, and so I'm just going to talk about it over this Search and Destroy game, and hopefully somewhere down the line I'll try it again, because I only tried it very briefly, and so I'm still not going to be very great at it, so you'll see me fail a lot when I do that again, if I so choose to do that again. But during that, I did the bots, and I was listening to, I want to say it was Optic Merc, but I'm really not sure the commentary that I was listening to, but somebody was discussing how when they started doing it, or because they did the, I think they call it the paw, because he does the claw, but he also uses the paddles on the SCUF controller, and he thinks he's the only one that does that. And as far as I'm concerned, I think he is also the only one that does that. And so it was just him discussing how that has kind of transferred over to using the paddles and the claw method at the same time, because most people don't. They kind of transfer over from the claw to the paddles because it allows you to do it without it and still have that maneuverability. But anyways, again, off to the tangent, I gotta get back on my experience with it. I thought it was going to take a little bit more time to get used to it, but honestly, after a few minutes, it didn't feel that bad. I did find that my middle finger would sometimes stop pressing the trigger, and so that I would almost stop shooting early in a lot of gunfights early on, and that was kind of a problem. And then after probably about an hour, my hands started to get a little bit more fatigued, and particularly around the index finger area, although I feel like with my hours of gameplay, in general, I feel like my hand is built up some pretty endurance-wise muscles, if you want to put it that way. But I feel like having my finger in such an awkward position, or not necessarily awkward, but awkward for me, considering that I don't play claw, it definitely fatigued my hand, which is kind of a downside, because obviously I'd only have to be able to practice using the claw so long before my hand starts to get tired, and that's kind of a disadvantage in that sense, because I'm sure that people who are used to doing the claw sit there and go for hours and not really feel any difference in fatigue in their hands, as most people probably don't as they're playing video games. And so that was a downside. But on the brighter note of things, on the brighter side of things, I did notice there were some pros to using the claw, and obviously I was nailing a lot more jump shots with the accuracy, which is great. I also felt, for some reason, I don't know if it was just because I rallied around the fact that I was using a different method, but it felt like my accuracy for closer range combat was spot on, a lot more accurate than it usually is. Not to say that I have horrible accuracy, but I felt like it was like a laser sight, And then my long range engagements did not seem to work out in my favor, so I feel like perhaps the way that my thumb was, I felt like it was lifted more on the thumbstick or the analog stick, and so I feel like my thumb wasn't used to that, and so it had more maneuverability because it was higher up, I guess, so it was, I don't know, but I seem to be more accurate at close range and less accurate at long range. I think that was just because my thumb wasn't used to being on the analog stick at that angle, and so that would be something that came over time. And I also felt like I was more aggressive to take on challenges in matches, which was just me not playing smart. I think I got caught up in the moment, which obviously would be something that I would have to kind of peel back, especially if I was to do league play with the claw, although I would never attempt to do league play unless I was super comfortable in pub matches with the claw. I did take my claw to pub matches, and I did do about the same. I usually go about 30 and 10, probably about on your average free-for-all match, and that was probably where I was about sitting. I did go 30 and 10. I think I went 30 and 12 and like 30 and 6 or 7. I did really well with a shotgun, so I don't necessarily think that was necessarily an aiming problem as the shotgun. I used the Remington, which you don't even have to aim down sights with that bad boy, and so... And I think I just got lucky with the set of players that I was playing against. So as far as the claw is concerned, I would say that if you're willing to take out the time to actually put into doing the claw, I think it's fantastic if you can start to nail those jump shots. It's definitely, it helps, but it's tricky because it's definitely different to get used to, especially if you're not used to doing the claw after so many years of playing video games. I felt like after a while, I kept wanting to resort back to using the normal handle on the controller. So if you're going to do the claw, I suggest committing fully to it. I suggest if you're going to struggle, okay? Like, it's going to get better eventually, but if you like do the claw and then go back to it and do the claw and go back to it, I feel like you're not going to progress as rapidly. So if you're going to do it, I suggest hopping into a bot game, hopping into pub matches, and just stay aggressive with it. Just struggle through with it. Don't go back to the normal method if that is how you so choose to. Of course, if you're just trying out, it's different. But I think I'm going to give the claw another try, just because I would if possible, I would like to get really comfortable with the claw. As like I said, it definitely helps you win with those milliseconds of time. Anyways, guys, this is the end of the video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Thanks for listening. And if you guys have tried any different handles on the controller, let me know. If you guys have tried the claw, let me know. But thanks for watching, and see you guys later. Have a nice day.